Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NURADLINA binti Muhammad Idrus. I would like to explain about the project 2, which is portfolio management. First of all, the introduction which is our group start with table of contents. Table of contents which is have 5 sections, which is expected return, standard deviation, mean and weights for the 5 company, which is Mastercard, Apple, Microsoft, AZHAR, Google from 2009 until 2018, which is 10 years. Second, correlation and variance colorimetrics, weights, portfolio data, and portfolio graphs. Okay, I would like to explain about the basic background about the 5 company that our group has been chosen, which is Mastercard, Apple, Microsoft, AZHAR, and Google. First, Mastercard. Mastercard is a leader in global payment and a technology company that connects billions of consumers and thousands of financials around the world. As we know, Mastercard is a company that produces a card. Second, Apple Incorporation. Apple Incorporation is an American multinational technology company. It sells, develops consumer electronics, computer software, and online service. Microsoft is a company that develops, manufactures, licenses, supports, and sells computer software, and it collaborates for free with online version of Microsoft Word, such as Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and OneNote. AZHAR is a Taiwanese multinational hardware and electronics corporation specialization in advanced electronic technology. It is founded in 1976 by Stan Shi and headquartered at New Taipei City. Google is a company that develops and specializes in internet-related services and produce, which includes online service, advertising technologies, and a search engine, cloud computing, software, and hardware. As we know, many people around the world use Google as their main sources of information, such as lecturers, students, businesses, and many companies. Okay, I would like to continue with the formula for expected return for project 2. To find the expected return for project 2, the price of today minus the price of yesterday, and the result is divided with price of yesterday. After that, we can find expected return and standard deviation, because the formula of expected return is the average of the return of its stock throughout the year from 2009 until 2018. And for standard deviation formula, I would like to show you the table, because if we click show formula, we can find that the formula was stated in the table, which is more function under statistical, and then we find the standard deviation for population and not for sample. Okay, and then we click OK. Okay, after that, to find the correlation, we can use data analysis program in data analysis to input the range, and the range will be the return for every stock from 2009 until 2018, and we group by column and press OK, and the result of correlation metric will be shown afterwards. We just need to transpose the result of the bottom to the upward, because the result will be the same for opposite side. So this will get the table for correlation for 5 companies, which is Mastercard, Apple, Microsoft, AZHAR, and Google.
Hi, my name is AFIQAH binti Haris. So right now, I will tell the result of expected return, standard deviation, and also correlation of these 5 stocks, which are Mastercard, Apple, Microsoft, AZHAR, and Google. First and foremost, for the expected return, Microsoft has the lowest expected return value, which is 1.705, followed by Google 1.765, then followed by Apple 2.408, and then followed by Mastercard 2.417. And the highest expected return value is on AZHAR, which is 2.439. Now for the standard deviation, AZHAR has the highest standard deviation, which is 32.968. Okay, the lowest standard deviation value is on Mastercard, which is only 6.036, and then followed by Microsoft 6.311, and then followed by Google 6.799, and lastly Apple 7.544. Okay, now for the mean and weight. Okay, for the mean, actually, the result will be the same as the expected return value that we had calculated before because we use the same formula, and the total weight must be equal to 1. Okay, now for the correlation, the highest correlation is between Microsoft and Google, which is 0.513888317, and the lowest correlation is between Mastercard and AZHAR, which is 0.083247297. So these are the result of expected return, standard deviation, and also correlation of these 5 stocks.
Hi, my name is Afifah binti Muhammad FAKHRUDDIN. So now I will explain on the method on how to compute variance covariance matrix and also the weights in the minimum variance portfolio. So firstly, for the variance covariance matrix, we use the data analysis and we choose covariance and then we select OK. So then for the input range here, we input the range for all written from all data of the stocks. Then the result of variance covariance matrix here will appear in lower triangular variance covariance matrix. We need to have full variance covariance matrix. So to get the full matrix, we transpose the lower triangular variance covariance matrix and get the upper triangular variance covariance matrix. Then we can paste on the blank for upper triangular matrix. Okay, next for the weight in the minimum variance portfolio, we use this Excel solver function. After we click the solver function, we need to set the objective. So to set the objective, we click the portfolio variance here and the value must be always minimized. So here we click minimize. After we set the objective, we choose which variable cells that we want to change, and our aim is to change this portfolio weight, and we have set some subject to the constraints. So for the value of constraints here, we choose one of any written here and we start from small written and then increase gradually. We we change the we change the constraint to get different values of weight. So now let's we move to the results of covariance matrix and weights in the minimum variance portfolio. That's all for the method for covariance matrix and weights in minimum variance portfolio. So here are the results of covariance matrix. From these results of covariance matrix, we can see here that Apple and Acer have the highest covariance matrix among the others, while the lowest covariance matrix is between Mastercard and Microsoft, which is 0.134. Next, these are the results of weights. The values are differ according to the value that we have computed in the constraint using solver. We compute 12 different values in constraints to get these 12 data of weights for each stocks. Weights are very important to calculate port mean and port standard deviation, and from that we can plot the efficient frontier. My friend will explain later about the portfolio mean and portfolio standard deviation.
Hi, my name is NURUL binti AZHAR. Now I will explain how to compute the portfolio variance, portfolio standard deviation, and portfolio mean using Excel. For portfolio variance, we need to multiply the transpose of weight vector over here with the summation of the product between the variance covariance over here and weight vector over here. Okay, for portfolio standard deviation, we just need to square root the portfolio variance. And lastly, for portfolio means, we just need to sum up the product between mean over here and the weight vector over here. And then we get the portfolio mean. So after we have compute all the formulas, we will get all this value for the portfolio variance, portfolio standard deviation and portfolio means.
My name is NASUHA. I will explain on how to plot the graph of portfolio efficient frontier. For the graph of portfolio efficient frontier, we use the value of portfolio standard deviation as x-axis and value of portfolio mean as y-axis. To draw the graph, we highlight all the value for portfolio standard deviation and value of portfolio mean. Then we go to insert, and under charts, we choose insert scatter as Y and pick the scatter with smooth lines and markers. Next, to compute the values of gamma, we calculate the average of mean minus with the product of expected return and draw one matrix. Then we divide with the multiplication of average weight and average of variance covariance metric. As for result, the graph of portfolio efficient frontier will be like this. As I said, the value of portfolio standard deviation will be the x-axis and the value of portfolio mean will be the y-axis. And in the last column are the values of gamma for each weight such that the weight in this portfolio satisfy the formula given.
Okay, now the conclusion that we can get from this project 2 from all the computing that we have been made before is, okay, the expected return indicates the performance of the company throughout the year. From the calculation above, it shows that Mastercard has the highest expected return, which is 2.417%. Next, AZHAR has the highest standard deviation, which is 32.968%. It shows that there has been large swing in the return of the company. The larger the standard deviation, the more volatile the stocks. In investing, correlating is a measure that indicates the degree to which the price of two assets move together relative to their means. Microsoft and Google have the higher correlation compared to others. Stocks with positive correlation values move together in the same direction. In addition, the covariance metric is used to calculate the standard deviation of a portfolio of stocks, which is in turn is used by portfolio managers to quantify the risk associated with a particular portfolio. Covariance of Apple and AZHAR show the largest value compared to other different companies, which is 0.437%. Moreover, minimum variance portfolio is used to find a portfolio with smallest variance with the attainable sets. Portfolio mean and standard deviation can be calculated after we find various weight that satisfying one equal to identity matrix of portfolio times with the weight transpose. Portfolio efficient frontier can be plotted from the value of portfolio standard deviation on x-axis and value of portfolio mean on y-axis. We can see that the dot with yellow 0.0508, 0.0228 that we plot in the graph is the efficient portfolio because there is no other portfolio except itself that dominates it. The efficient frontier is the set of optimal portfolios that offer the highest expected return for a defined level of risk or the lowest risk for a given level of expected return. An interpretation of gamma and mean follows clearly from the proof. It's the gradient of the tangent line to the efficient frontier at the point representing the given portfolio being the intercept of this tangent line on the plane. Gamma is used as a parameter of absolute risk aversion. The greater the gamma, the more risk averse the investor is, while the negative value of gamma shows that the investor is risk-loving. From the graph, we can see that the mean of efficient frontier has the highest gamma value. We can assume that the investor is risk-averse at that point. Thank you, and that's all from our groups.